The eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We are the nation's leader in outsourced dental billing. Our clients require highly skilled dental office managers that can consult with client offices.
Welcome to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. I am your host, Andre Quintana, and I am here in Wake Forest, North Carolina. Beautiful weather outside, and I just want to bring this show to you because it's always exciting with the eAssisters, as I call them, eAssist Nation, listening to us out there. I just get so happy every time I have to record because we talk about very important things, and those important things are about making dental offices just as happy as we are here at eAssist. And along that line, I just want to also bring attention to eAssist Dental Solutions. They were named Inc. 500 list of fastest growing companies, private growing companies in America for the second straight year. And with our leader, Dr. Anderson, and everybody around us that makes this great company grow so well, it is really exciting, and I can't wait to see more years to come. Now, before we delay any longer, we have someone really, really special, and she is an account executive, and Jackie Holloway is on the phone with us. Jackie, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Andreas. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, yes. We've been planning this for a little while. We do 2 of these every month, and I know there are a lot of other eAssisters that are going to join us, but we are going to focus on you today because this is what Dr. Anderson really wanted to do. Is when he and I brainstormed about doing our podcast for eAssist, he cares so much about the people that work at eAssist that he says, I want to hear wonderful stories about how eAssist has changed our team's lives. And so, are you ready to talk about that today?
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's start with telling us a little bit more about yourself. How's that?
I'm Jackie Holloway. I'm an account executive. I also am one of the ambassadors for eAssist. I reside in Jacksonville, Florida. My husband was in the military, so we've moved around quite a bit. He's no longer in the military, so we've settled here in Florida for now. I say that. The IT world is what he's involved in, and it's forever changing. So I never know if this is going to be our permanent home or not, but that's the beauty of eAssist. If he gets offered a position, somewhere else that is going to take him further in his career, I don't have to put in that 2-week notice. My computer, I can pack it up and take it with me. And how wonderful is that?
That's great. That's great. And spending a lot of time with your family is so important. And I know, some of us have to go to the office. I actually do both. I help eAssist with the new clients information team, and I could do that from anywhere. So any of you in the dental community out there, if you're a hygienist or a dental assistant or dental front desk and you just want to join eAssist and you want to work from home, here we are for you. Jackie, so before we ask you how eAssist has changed your life, how did you find eAssist?
I was signed up for some of the employment boards with the Indeed.com and Monster.com, and I was constantly getting emails. The practice I was working with, the doctor was retiring, so I was getting emails and I was skimming through. And one of them came across with eAssist, work from home. And I thought, just as many others as I have heard, they questioned it, like, can this be real? Can I do this from home? So I logged into the website when I had some free time, and, it prompted me for, the application and the testing process. And I thought, man, there's no way that this cannot be real, to have to complete this much knowledge testing, to not be real. Shortly after I finished that process, Devaney reached out to me and she wanted to do a phone interview. So we did, our phone interview, and here I am. I've been with eAssist now for almost 4 years. 3.5 years is where I'm at right now.
That is so amazing. And I bet eAssist has a lot of love for the work that you do, and I can tell the energy that you bring, the way you talk about your doctors, there's a special relationship that you build with your teams in those offices and the doctor. Can you talk a little bit about that?
One of the things I can honestly say, Andres, is working from home, you do lose that connection of interacting with people as you do in a dental office. With me, I am so lucky that the teams that I work with, and even the offices, it goes beyond just my eAssist team. The offices I work with, we have such a close relationship where we communicate daily. We brainstorm, issues that we're having, or if there's a procedure that, the clinical notes may not be as clear, and I question, well, maybe I need a little extra help on this narrative. My providers are always so willing to help out, and it's just so wonderful to know that I'm treated as though I'm sitting at a desk in that practice, and I cannot sing the praises enough of the offices I work with. I'm just so blessed, and my eAssist teams that I work with, most of us have worked together, I would say almost the entire time I've been with eAssist. So I'm fortunate. I know that, often, teams change, and, I've been really lucky. I've been able to have the same team members on my account, and we've been with them for quite some time. And my regional manager, Patricia, there's so many nice things I could say about her. And it's a really long list, so I don't want to, take all that time, but a great mentor, sums it up, I guess you could say. She, if I ever have a bad day, I can pick up the phone, I can call her. She's right there. I had some medical issues in the past, and, she even took the time, to text me, call me, make sure I'm doing okay. And it's so great to have that bond with the people that you work with.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I came over. We're clients of eAssist. My wife, Dr. Jane Quintana, we have a general dental office here in Wake Forest. And when we joined eAssist, they started to do amazing work in our office, automating everything, helping us spend more time with patients, quality time with patients, because based on her reviews, that's the reputation we have. But as we were growing, Jackie, it just seemed like, okay, the volume of patients is growing, the amount of claims that are coming through are growing. And then with that, yes, you earn more revenue, but if you don't do it right, then what happens is when you don't do it right, when you're handling claims multiple times, then they start sneaking into the 60 and the 90 day, and then that starts growing. And that really does nobody any good, because then at that point, everybody's kind of stressing. The back, the front, it just doesn't do anything good for the office when, there's stuff outstanding
absolutely.
there. And then eAssist came in, and they really started to fix our claims, and our 90 days started to reduce itself. And the doctor was basically collecting what she's producing, and which is the way everybody wants it, including the insurance companies. I'm sure they don't want to hold on to our money. But that was the cure to the pain that we had. And on that note, eAssist, that was amazing. And I'm so ever thankful for eAssist for that reason. So tell us a little bit about eAssist and how they have changed your life.
They changed my life in so many ways, professionally and personally. Personally, as my children, my daughter just graduated high school, but as she was growing up, I missed so many events, sporting events, awards, ceremonies, and things like that, school activities. I just wasn't able to attend. eAssist has given me that freedom. And my son now, as he is going through school, I'm able to go to those baseball games, those football games, or even if they have a dentist appointment, I can actually take them to the dentist. I can choose to get up a couple of hours early and start my work day, and I can finish early. I can go have lunch with my children. I can spend time with my husband, going on vacation. Some say, if you take your laptop with you, are you really going on vacation? But I can change my schedule around to where I have that freedom. And I think that to me is the biggest thing that eAssist truly has given me is that freedom back of my life to where I do not feel like I'm in that, I'm sure everyone's seen those commercials, where it's just the mundane task of clocking in and clocking out and clocking in and clocking out. I have that freedom where if my son gets sick, I can drop what I'm doing and I can go get him rather than having to find coverage for something, with a patient or, a task, and I'm able to just go and help him. And being able to travel when my husband travels, being able to go with him with his job, it's really given my family a stronger foundation. And for me, family is everything. And so I would honestly have to say, out of everything that eAssist has given me, it has given me that freedom to really focus on my family.
Right. On that note, because we're going to come back to that point that you just made, very, very important, but we're going to go ahead and let people know how to come in contact with eAssist. Well, you can go to our website, which is dentalbilling.com or eassist.com, and our phone number is 844-327-7478. It's 844-327-7478. And then we're just going to hear a special announcement about eAssist, and we'll be right back.
You know your practice is losing money. You just don't know why. Office managers are often overwhelmed with juggling insurances, patients, scheduling, and staff. eAssist Dental Solutions has the answer. By outsourcing your dental billing efforts with eAssist, your patients become your sole focus. With eAssist on your side, you will feel the burden of insurance collections lifted off your shoulders. Visit us at www.dentalbilling.com today to find out more information.
So we are back to the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We have Jackie Holloway on the phone with us. And, there was something really important that you left us with, which is the ability you have to take care of your family. But on that same, point that you made, we have to make sure that people know that you're taking care of your family with the flexibility that you have with eAssist. But you're also ensuring that eAssist families, and I mean the teams that are inside doctors' offices working from 9 to 5 or from 7 to 5, they're being taken care of by some of the work that you do. Can you unpack that a little bit and tell people a little bit of what you do in those offices that make the offices perform great?
On a daily basis, for the offices that I work, I'm reviewing their claims. They batch their claims, they put them in the queue for me, and they leave them there because the team in the office knows that I'm going to come in and I'm going to review all of those claims. I'm going to make sure there's a patient mailing address, that there's an ID number. Did the procedures get coded correctly? Was there an anterior code for a posterior tooth? And I, bring it to their attention so we can get that updated, get that clean claim sent out, within a timely manner. I make sure that their attachments are done for, perio charting, x-rays, intraoral photos, anything that can get that claim processed as quickly as possible so that the turnaround time is cut tremendously, because some of these claims were being sent out in the past without the proper attachment, and that would delay a claim. Just as you had mentioned, you had claims on your 60-day, 90 days. Sometimes it could be something as simple as well, how old was the old crown? So that's where I come in. I make sure all that information goes out the first time so we can get that claim, paid and in the office. Fingers crossed, I shoot for 10 days because I have a lot of offices that get the electronic payments. And so that is my goal. I like to see my turnaround time within 10 days. I want to have those claims paid, and it happens. And that is what's beautiful, because I've worked so closely with the doctors to get those clinical notes, templates, set up in their system so they can just plug in information of what the insurance company is looking for. And then another thing that I do for my clients is I take care of their postings. I take care of their deposits. So they scan over any paper checks that they may get, and I put that in their system. And I'm doing it, of course, by line item so that they know out of, for example, if it's $150 and there were 3 procedures, well, they know exactly how much of that $150 went to each procedure on that day. And I make a note for them, and I let them know, this was the date of service, this is what you charged out, this is what was paid, and any other note. And if something ever gets denied, immediately an appeal goes out the same day. So we can get that claim paid, get it looked at with additional information. Sometimes we do have to get the doctor to get involved and help us change the wording of our narrative. So I always like to brainstorm with my providers, and that was something, I was mentioning earlier, is I have that connection with those providers, and I can always reach out to them and tell them, this is what we sent with the original NEA. And the attachments, can you look it over? Can you give us some insight? And so we're able to get those claims turned around very quickly. And by doing so, 2 of the offices that I work for, is that I'm part of the eAssist team. One of the doctors, with the help of eAssist, helping his main practice, he was able to open a second location. Another office that I work with, we were able to help clean up their aging, increase their collections, because that turnaround time, rather than waiting 30 or 60 days for insurance, is just coming in quicker. His patients were growing, and he needs another provider. So recently, it was 3 weeks ago, he was able to bring on an associate doctor. And these are exciting things for my practices. And they share it with me. And it's like I'm part of their team. I'm in the office, even though I'm not even in the same state that they're in.
Jackie, oh my gosh. 2 things. Okay, number one is you probably have the phone lines ringing right now, going crazy with doctors listening to you explain that so well. I mean, 10 days. I've been seeing that. I've been seeing some of my claims with MetLife, for example, getting turned around really, really fast. The other thing is, I wonder if you have a teaching background, because you just gave us a clinic about how the process. I'm not kidding you. I mean, you put it in such a form, almost like a lesson plan, truly, because I was listening, wondering, oh my goodness, this is the one podcast. If there was a new doctor coming on board or thinking about coming on board, I mean, everybody has been good. All the ladies that we have interviewed, but I asked you a specific question and you really ran with it. So I really appreciate that. I'm sure our phone lines are going to be ringing. So, Jackie, this has been such a great episode so far. We're going to talk about how much time it takes with, building relationships with patients. I mean, it takes such a long time to get the practice, to get all the great reviews for the doctors. And then, the leadership that you can actually, if you're working inside of the office and the office staff having been able to do better leadership because they're interacting with each other better and the patients, it's just a better flow. So when a dental office manager, right? I know you agree. When a manager takes time off too, in my office, what has happened is that systems can break down. But with eAssist working in the background, that doesn't really happen. What do? You guys kind of take it to another level, right?
It's funny that you bring that up. I actually have an office that I work for where they took this week off. And even though they took the week off, unfortunately, I can't check their mail. I'm just not there with them. I'm in a completely different state. However, their deposits for anything that's electronic is still getting posted daily.
Wow.
The account manager that I work with, she is still working on any claim that we have not been able to get paid, following up on it. We brainstorm. I know you and I were speaking a little prior before the podcast started, and, we come together as a team. And our regional manager, like I mentioned, Patricia is my regional manager. She joins us on those calls. And any claim, doesn't matter what practice, doesn't matter how simple of a procedure, it can be something as simple as, an SRP claim getting denied. We come together as a team and we brainstorm. So this practice has been closed for the entire week. So that typically means, well, there's no production, there's no money coming in because there's no one in the office.
Right.
But here I am in the background. Those EFTs are still getting deposited, so I'm verifying those and getting those posted for the office. So when they come back on Monday, they can run their report, close those days out, and they can see exactly what I've done. And I've put those EOBs directly from those websites in their EOB folder on their desktop so they can see the work that I've done while they were able to take that time off.
One minor detail, though, you can't check the mail, but you've been working on the claim. So when that office gets back, they're going to have a nice little stack of checks also to for you to post, right? So because you see, the thing
absolutely.
is that happened with us. I apologize, I kind of cut you off, but that happened when we were on vacation. eAssist was doing all this work, and when we got back, we're like, whoa, and we didn't have to post it. That was the beauty about it. eAssist was the one that once we did the scan, you guys posted for us. Isn't that amazing?
Yes, absolutely. That cash flow is so important for practices because you've got the cost of running the practice in itself with, your supplies, and then you've got your overhead for, staff members. And it's so important to make sure that you've got that cash flow coming in from these insurance companies. And that's where we come in. My goal, like I said, is 10-day turnaround, especially when it comes to an insurance company that I know a practice is set up to get those electronic payments. And I love seeing it. Just last week I had a provider reach out to me because I was able to get a bridge turned around with Delta Dental in 3 days.
Wow.
3 days. It's unheard of.
That is
unheard of to get a bridge paid in that time. And, she immediately reached out to me. She was like, wow, how did you do this? And I was like, I have no idea. I have no idea how it happened. It's magic. And I love that I can bring my magic to my clients.
Well, it's you doing what you do best, and then the dental office and the dentist doing what they do best. And together, it's just perfect harmony. So for office listening now that want to come on board with eAssist and other services, what would you say to those offices?
What are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
Easier.
Yes.
Let us make your life easier. I know, I have a client, and recently I spoke with the office manager, and she was going through some things, and she needed an ear. And it just so happened it was on the day that I was scheduled to call her, and I listened to her. And while we were speaking, she said, Jackie, I was really hesitant about starting with eAssist. She says, because I've always been the office manager. I've always posted these checks, and I kind of felt like you were taking something away from me. And I said, oh, no. Like, I'm not here to take anything away from you. I said, I'm here to make your life easier, to give you time to focus on the patient that's standing in front of you, to give you time to answer that phone for that new patient questioning, do you take this insurance?
Right.
My life is, I want to make your life easier. That is what I'm here for. And she says, I couldn't agree more. She goes, I absolutely love having you. She goes, where have you been all of my life? And it's the atmosphere of eAssist as a whole. We all come together. I went to my first summit, which is where all the eAssisters come together, and Dr. Anderson and, of course, Sandy, Melinda,
Yeah.
and all the regional managers. And I went to my first summit 2 years ago, and the energy with that was just so amazing.
Yeah.
And being able to put faces with people that you've built relationships with, because we work so close together, and though it's through a computer, it was so nice to see them and hug them. But it wasn't, that awkwardness of meeting a stranger, because we've worked together for so long. It was just like we just ran into each other at the supermarket.
Oh my goodness, that's great. And didn't you? Did I meet you last year at Summit in Orlando?
I was not able to make it last
Okay.
year. My husband, like I said, he's in the IT world, and he was traveling, and I had my children, and I was like, but I am going this year. And for all the eAssisters, that are listening, please come to Summit. You will not regret it. I promise you will not regret it.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
It is just an amazing experience. And, getting to meet everyone, and even getting to meet Dr. Anderson and
Yes.
Sandy, you can walk up to them. Like, they're just normal people. They truly care about everyone in this company.
Yeah, it was so exciting last year. I went to my first one. I was just one of the clients, and the host of the podcast, and he invited me down there, and even gave me the opportunity to speak for a few minutes. I felt so welcome, and I think that's what really separates. I've never dealt with any other company, but I can imagine like the staff. I don't know how you guys train for this. Now I know because I'm part of the team, but they make your offices feel so welcome. We're not in competition. We're here to just work together. And I'll tell you, all the offices that I come in contact with, they love the accounts executives and the account managers. It's just amazing. How do you feel at the end of the day when you have done such a great job at making your offices successful?
It is such a humbling feeling to know that I am part of their success.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, one of the offices I work with was able to open a second location. Another office I work with, because of the help that we provided, brought on an associate doctor because his patient workload was just growing and growing. And then I have another practice that I work with where they were honored in their state, for top doctor in their state. Mm-hmm. And it is so humbling to know that I played a part in helping them be successful. I truly don't think there's a word for it other than, for me, it's a humbling experience. I feel great. And especially when there's a claim that I have been fighting. I mean, recently I was fighting a claim with MetLife that they were denying for missing tooth calls because the patient had a tooth extracted and an implant placed. And they didn't want to cover the implant, not because the patient's policy didn't cover an implant, but because the tooth was not extracted on that policy. So I did some, brainstorming and thinking outside of the box. So I thought, well, it was under the spouse's insurance. So maybe the patient didn't have insurance through their employer. And the office has given us permission to speak with their patient. And so I reached out to the patient and I asked if there was other coverage. And she explained to me the situation that her work did not offer dental insurance until this year. So I drafted a letter explaining the employer has not changed, that they just started offering insurance. And so the patient signed up that it was extracted under, the spouse's policy. And I was asking them to please review it, look it over, that I didn't think that they should automatically deny it. And we were able to get that paid in full with the patient's benefits of implant coverage. And that is just such a you jump in your chair, you see the memes on the,
right.
Social media and stuff, throwing your hands in the air and you're just like, yes, I did this.
Yes.
I did this. And it's just so rewarding. And not only is it rewarding for me, but to be able to tell my practice that you're not going to have to collect as much as you thought from your patient is such a great feeling, because that builds that relationship with the office and their patient knows I'm in good hands here.
Yes.
They really went to bat for me.
Yes.
And so it's so rewarding.
Amazing. Wow. That's such a nice story. So, Jackie, we have reached the end of the program. I can't wait to have you back. Wasn't this fun, right?
Absolutely. Thank you so much again for having me.
I can't wait to have you back, because I'm sure that we have questions that I want to ask you for sure, but we've got to save them because it's got to be another episode with Jackie Holloway. On this note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. What would you tell a doctor, again, or an office team listening to the show that wants to come on board with eAssist?
If they've been on the fence and they truly have do your homework. I can sit here and say all day long that, we're the best, and that's my opinion.
Yes.
But also do your research. The 500 Inc., 2 years in a row now, we have such a family culture, and we do rigorous training. We do. Just to get vetted before they send their managers to a client. We have training modules and, constantly continuing education. And, honestly, look at your aging. Is it where you want it to be? If it's not, we can help you. Let us help you.
That's right. So on that note, there's not enough time in the day to do it all. If your accounts receivable is going through the roof, if you have one person in charge in your office and they truly can't handle, and if patients are truly leaving your office because of the fact that your billing system is not right, that's just a reason right there. Those are a few reasons, great reasons, to call eAssist at, I'll share the phone number again. It's 844-327-7478. Well, Jackie, thank you so much for coming on such a beautiful day here. Well, you're in Florida. You got better, nicer, warmer weather, but it's pretty beautiful here in North Carolina.
Well, thank you so much for having me. We've had a lot of thunderstorms, so I'm really glad, fortunately while we were doing this, that we've not had the bad weather as we've had all week. And I look so forward to meeting you at Summit. And I do hope to return to another podcast with you.
Well, the invitation is there. I want to wish everybody listening, thank you all for staying on with us. Jackie, thank you again. And I just want to wish you a great week. And all the eAssisters out there, get ready, because I'm going to be coming for you to be on the podcast and share some of these great stories with us. Jackie, thank you so much and have a great night.
Thank you. Same to you.
We hope that you have enjoyed this episode of the eAssist Dental Solutions podcast. We love to put the spotlight on the individuals for their outstanding work for our clients.